Greetings, strangers. Oh, I'm Britt. Greetings, strangers. I'm Britt.
And I'm D.
It's like, what's she waiting on?
And you just sitting there looking.
I was waiting on
Oh
you.
my
I'm looking at you.
God.
You looking at me. I'm looking at you. Welcome to another episode of It's a Strange World After All. The podcast where we discuss true crime cases, the supernatural, urban legends, conspiracy theories, and all of the things that keep the world strange. This is our last episode for our Black History series, but never forget, Black lives past, present, and future should be celebrated 365 days of the year. Year.
In today's episode, we discuss an American serial killer responsible for at least 10 murders known as the Grim Sleeper.
Like the Grim Reaper, but instead of Reaper, Sleeper. Oh, I get it. It took me till now to get it, but I get it.
I was about to say.
Lonnie David Franklin Jr. was born on August 30th, 1952, and grew up in South Central Los Angeles, California. He is a serial killer who was responsible for at least 10 murders in one attempted murder in Los Angeles from 1984 to 2007.
On July 24th, 1975, Lonnie was given a dishonorable discharge from the United States Army after being released from prison for his conviction of gang raping a 17-year-old girl in Stuttgart, West Germany in April 1974. Lonnie and two other servicemen stopped to ask for directions from the teenager and offered her a ride home. When she accepted, they put a knife to her throat, drove her to a field, and repeatedly raped her.
I was just thinking, man, that was intense.
Oh, yeah. It was, yeah.
And then I was thinking, well, I was going to say, why did she let them give her a ride? But this was the 70s and it was not uncommon, so.
That's true. Technically, we still do it today.
You is not about to say Uber and Lyft, right?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, yes, but you at least have some sort of peace of mind in knowing that there's like a trail. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's like a electronic trail. I mean, if you're crazy, you're crazy. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. But you're probably less likely to do it when.
Yeah. And then Lyft, they added the thing where it'll be a message like if they see that the driver like took a wrong turn and it's taking longer than normal, an alert will pop up and it'll be like, "Are you okay?" Because that happened to me a few times. Yeah.
Where they got
lost. Yeah, on my phone. Yeah, because they would get lost and like make a wrong turn or something. And while they're trying to get back on track, it'll pop up and it'll be like, "Are you okay? Do you need assistance?"
That's pretty helpful.
Yeah. I don't know about Uber though. Uber doesn't no.
Uber doesn't care. Somehow she convinced Lonnie to give her his phone number and she gave it to the police. In 1989, he was convicted of 2 charges of theft, 1 charge of misdemeanor assault, and 1 charge of battery. He only served time for 1 of the theft charges.
He is stupid.
Oh, for giving her.
Why would you give her your phone number?
His number.
Stupid.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's a narcissist. Maybe he, even though he'd committed this heinous act against her, maybe he was so self-absorbed that he believed that she really wanted his number.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, and then how did he manage to just serve time for the 1 theft charge?
What if he's a snitch? Like possibly he snitched on someone, took like some sort of a plea type thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. In the mid-1980s, the LAPD became aware of an apparent serial killer targeting Black women who were drug users and sex workers. The killer, who was dubbed the Southside Slayer, was thought to be responsible for stabbing and strangling at least 13 sex workers between 1983 and late 1985. At one point, the murders were known as the Strawberry Murders. Strawberry was slang for a woman who exchanges sex for drugs. How you get strawberry?
I don't know. I was sitting here thinking that's an interesting name for something. It's like, what's that, John in Philly? When people say John for everything, like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
taste that
Yeah.
John. I guess. I don't know. Do we have something like that in Texas? Like that we use for everything? No, right? I can't think of anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
Nothing
can't think
comes
of
to
anything.
mind.
Yeah, no, And we've seen this all too many times. Serial killer, especially as it pertains to minority sex workers and like trans sex workers, which would still be considered like a minority sex worker. So,
Yeah.
in September 1985, the LAPD held a press conference and asked for tips from the public. Following the press conference, the LAPD was criticized for their failure to alert the community sooner. Activist Margaret Prescott and other community activists held weekly protests outside of the LAPD's headquarters to pressure them into forming a task force to investigate the murders. The fact that it had to come to this is so sad. If those women were not sex workers, number one, or you hate to hear it, if they had been white women, they would have started a witch hunt. It would have been literally like people would have been on curfew. There would have been signs everywhere, like public service announcements, amber alerts, silver alerts, all the alerts.
Not a silver alert.
All the alerts. All the alerts. We don't know how old they are. Damn it. Put all the alerts on. Put all the alerts on.
That's true, though. That is very true. By January 1986, 15 murders had been linked to the case. More detectives were added to the investigation, which became known as the Southside Slayer Task Force. By late 1986, conflicting modus operandi and suspect descriptions caused authorities to doubt their original theory that a single killer was responsible for all the murders. Evidence suggested that possibly 4 or more serial killers were murdering women in South Los Angeles.
What?
Yeah, they had a lot going on in LA back then.
Yeah, do you believe that? But okay. I was going to say, do you believe their theory? But I guess well, okay. So it's saying conflicting MOs and suspect descriptions were making them doubt that there was one killer.
Yeah.
So, okay, never mind. What I was going to say was about to be wrong, I think, because I was going to say, well, if they didn't have the same MOs, then that would indicate that they were different killers. I don't know what I was about to say. I think I was going to say, well, if they had the same MO, why would there be multiple killers? But never mind.
It could have still been a group. Well, no, they said that it may be more people, more killers, I mean.
Unrelated to each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot, though. 4 or more. They had a lot of serial killers.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess, well, no, in just South Los Angeles. I was going to say, well, California's pretty big, but no, just in South Los Angeles. So, yeah, we should look into that and see like what serial killers were from that area and killing around that time that have now been like convicted of those crimes. Yeah. One particular group of killings that were linked by common elements, including the use of a .25 caliber firearm, remained unsolved and unaccounted for by any other serial killer. The first known murder in this series was the murder of Deborah Jackson in August 1985, which was linked to the murder of Henrietta Wright by forensic firearm examination.
By 1987, there were 7 victims linked to the same gun. 2 decades later, the person guilty of committing these crimes was dubbed the Grim Sleeper due to the long period of inactivity between the murders. He appeared to have taken a 14-year break from his crimes from 1988 to 2002. That is a long time.
Yeah, that is a
That makes
long
me
ass.
think maybe he was in prison or something, or maybe he just didn't feel like, I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe, but wouldn't they have had a record? Like, once they figured out who he was, wouldn't they have had a record on whether or not he was in jail for that time?
Oh, yeah, after they figured it all out, yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about that, so.
What were you doing?
Or he was raising his family.
He had a whole wife and kids.
Yeah. I don't know if he was married, but he did have a kid.
Okay, yeah, maybe he was trying to refrain from killing. Maybe he was having like a whole like moral dilemma and he was thinking, I'm not gonna do this. And then he was 14 years sober and then he had an itch again.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But then they don't know for sure. Maybe he was trying something different. Maybe he was like, let me jazz it up a bit the way that I'm doing this. And then it didn't work out. It didn't work out for him. So he was like, let me go back to the way that I was doing it. Maybe. Like, you don't know. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know for sure. I'm being serious. They don't know for sure. Or maybe he moved. Maybe he went somewhere else. We should do some more research. We should look up people with his same MO in different
states.
States, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he moved though.
No. What would possess you to stop for 14 years?
The Lifetime movie, I don't think they really got into what he was doing.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
But nobody knows. Only he knows.
Only he knows. Yeah, unfortunately. In May 2007, the murder of 25-year-old Janicia Peters was linked through DNA analysis to at least 11 unsolved murders in LA, the first of which occurred in 1985. That same year, the LAPD secretly formed the 800 task force composed of 6 detectives and overseen by Robbery Homicide Unit.
After a 4-month investigation, LA Weekly investigative reporter Christine Pulisic broke the news of the task force's existence, the link between Peters' murder and the earlier murders, and the silence of Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa and Police Chief William J. Bratton regarding the killer's existence. LA Weekly was the first to inform the families that their daughters had long been confirmed as victims of the serial killer. So the LAPD, they did get a lot of heat for how they handled this case, which they should have, because they wasn't doing what they were supposed to do from the beginning. But with this, yeah, they should have said something to the families, but a lot of times, police, they'll withhold information because they want to keep something that only the killer would know. So when they, you know what I mean? But I feel like they still should have told the families something because they didn't even know. So they're saying she broke the news to them that they were victims of that specific serial killer. They're just thinking that their daughters are missing.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So you're saying that information though. Yeah, because that information, I mean, I don't see how you would hide that from the public. Like, because that's just saying, like, we think that this is a possibility. We're not saying, like, what weapon was used, how they died, anything like that. We're just saying that, hey, they're not missing. They're dead, basically. Like,
yeah, they could have told them that.
Yeah, they could have. In early September 2008, LA authorities announced that they were offering a $500,000 reward to help catch the killer. On November 1st, the case was featured on America's Most Wanted. America's Most Wanted.
I don't think that's
Ain't that the name of that song? No.
I was like, that is not the theme song. But
No, I was talking about Tupac. It should have been a theme song. No, I was talking about Tupac.
Oh, Tupac and Snoop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cultured. What? Police Chief Bratton released a 911 call from the 1980s in which a man reported seeing a body being dumped and gave a detailed description and license plate number of a van connected with the now closed Cosmopolitan Church.
In March 2009, LA Weekly reporter Pulisic conducted an extensive interview with Anitra Washington, the sole survivor of Lonnie Franklin's attacks. She described him as a Black man in his early 30s. He looked neat, tidy, and kind of geeky. Oh, I'm trying to think. I just got sidetracked because I was thinking about the movie. Because I think that's who Macy Gray, that's who she played.
Oh, okay. And I should have watched it. I'm gonna do better this season.
This is a regular Lifetime movie.
I still want to do better though this season about watching as much as I can about it. That way,
Oh,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
just.
But then I'm like, that's Lifetime, so I don't know how.
Oh, it's sensationalized,
Yeah.
not like a documentary. Yeah. Okay, so I will vow to watch the documentaries if there's a documentary before we do the episode. That's my goal for the year. If this is our job and I had to report to like you, like if you were my supervisor, my developmental goal would be to watch documentaries.
Okay, me too. He wore a black polo shirt tucked into khaki trousers. Anitra also described the interior and exterior of his vehicle.
Almost like a Ted Bundy situation. Like they knew, like he drove that little, was it a yellow bug?
Yeah.
Beetle?
Yeah.
Okay. On July 7th, 2010, Lonnie Franklin Jr. was arrested. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office charged him with 10 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and special circumstance allegations of multiple murders in the case. What that mean? Like.
What?
People gonna be like, they never know nothing about how the law works. What the hell is special circumstance allegations of multiple murders? So it's because he has multiple murders, but like with circumstantial evidence.
We can go with that.
That's something I feel like that's something that I can't even look up on the fly right now because I feel like it's gonna be so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna look it up and put it in the event details. Like, oh, and by the way, this is what this meant. In the middle of the episode, you're gonna hear like we don't know what it means, but this is what it actually meant.
I think what you said sounds about right, though.
At the time, Lonnie was a 57-year-old mechanic who worked for the city of Los Angeles in the sanitation department between 1981 and 1988. He also briefly worked for the LAPD doing what? What was he doing for the LAPD?
I'm thinking like.
So we looked it up, guys. That's how we're supposed to be. So we looked it up and.
Oh, look, I just figured he was like working on the little cop cars.
Oh, I thought you were going to say custodial department.
Oh, probably that too.
Oh, wait, because he was a mechanic. So yeah, he probably was working on their cars. Huh. Sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Keep your friends close and your LAPD closer.
Lord, okay. Lonnie was identified in part by familial DNA analysis. Police found no exact match between DNA found at the crime scenes and any of the profiles in the California's DNA profile database. So they searched the database for stored profiles that demonstrated a sufficient similarity to allow police to infer a familial relationship.
Say what? They out here MacGyvering.
They're basically trying to see if he has any relatives in the database. So that way they can match their DNA to his. It's not going to be the same, but it's going to be similar.
But it's not. They have this DNA.
Because nobody has the same DNA.
Right. They have this DNA. They're looking for a match. Lonnie's not coming up, right?
No.
So they're trying to meet. Okay, so they're trying to get the next best thing, which would be a family member.
Yes.
Gotcha. I feel, you know what, now that I think about it, not unless, because there was another one that I watched, and y'all, I'm bad about like names of people, places, and things, just names in general. I'm just like, huh? But I was watching an episode of like either Unsolved Mysteries or one of those like ID shows, and there was a black serial killer, and they found him from DNA. And this the same way, I'm not gonna give it away because we haven't got there yet, but the same way was this way. And I'm wondering if I did watch it like either a
You
show or
probably did.
documentary on him now.
You
Okay.
probably
So see,
did.
I fulfilled my duty. This episode I did.
By accident.
That's how God works. Y'all see how the Lord. By doing this, they found a similar DNA belonging to Lonnie's son, Christopher, who had been convicted of a felony weapons charge in 2008. Detectives then used a piece of discarded pizza with Lonnie's DNA to make a connection. One undercover officer pretended to be a waiter at a restaurant where Lonnie ate, collecting dishes, silverware, glasses, and pizza crust to obtain DNA. I said, what? This a murder she wrote? Sherlock Holmes, Monk, Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Like,
Oh.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did stuff like that in real life.
Yes, they do.
They were going to catch him. As they should have, they should have been like that from the very beginning, but.
Yeah. But again, these were black women, so I don't think, and they were sex workers too, so.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
On December 16th, 2010, the LAPD released 180 photos of women found in Lonnie's home after unsuccessful attempts to identify the individuals. In all, investigators found over 1,000 photos and several hundred hours of video in his home. Man, that is a lot.
It is.
The photos show mainly black women of a wide age range, often nude. Police believe Lonnie took many of the pictures, which show both conscious and unconscious women dating back 30 years. That is a long time.
That is a long time, and that's intense. Over 1,000 photos.
And hundreds of hours of video.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What? And I wonder if, like, the conscious women knew, like, what was happening, or was he doing it without them knowing that it was happening? Or was
Oh.
there a mixture of you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It was probably a mixture of both.
On November 3rd, 2011, Reuters reported that the police were considering Lonnie as a suspect in 6 more murders of additional victims. Lonnie Franklin Jr. was charged with 10 murders and 1 attempted murder and held without bail. He was never charged in the death of a suspected 11th victim, a black man, a crime for which DNA evidence was not found. Why did they think he was responsible for that, though?
I think it had something to do with like a witness seeing him doing something suspicious. I don't know. I didn't really find a lot of
Oh, there was something that tied him back
yeah.
to the
I didn't really find a lot of information on that. On May 5th, 2016, Lonnie was convicted on all counts. On June 6th, a Los Angeles jury sentenced him to death. Lonnie was found dead in his cell on March 28th, 2020. As of 2021, his cause of death and the results of his autopsy have not been publicly released.
Why not?
I don't know. I wonder if it was COVID related because he was old.
Man, if it was COVID related, they would've everything's it was COVID related. They would have said that it was COVID related, regardless. Even if he had COVID, got better, and then died after, they probably still would
Oh,
have
yeah,
said that
that's
it was
true.
COVID related, I think. I don't know. Maybe he killed himself, and they don't wanna release that. I don't know.
Or maybe they did something and it's some kind of cover up.
That's what I was thinking, but then 2016 wasn't that long ago, so I guess. Because I was like, but then, like, why wait? If you're gonna do something, then
No, he died in 2020.
No, I know. No, but I was saying from when,
Oh.
because he was convicted in 2016. So he went to, yeah,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
I meant. Like, why wait those years, like until 2020 to do something? But maybe it was
Oh,
a situation where maybe something had just happened. But also, he was
yeah, that's
older. Not
yeah.
old. Not old.
I mean, he was kinda old. He was
He was 57 in 2010, right?
yeah, so he was kinda old.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I just wonder. That's really weird when they always do that when they say like it was unknown. Well, no, it's not even the fact that it's unknown. It's the fact that they just didn't release it. Like, why is it so
Yeah,
ominous? Like, what did he do?
yeah,
Because he would have been in his like 60s, 70s ish.
yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts.
I don't really have any. I mean, I just feel like the obvious, they should have done something sooner, and maybe that many women wouldn't have died.
Yeah,
If they would have done what they were supposed to do in the beginning, all of this could have been avoided.
I agree.
Do your job.
Yes, do your job. Do a little extra work.
It's crazy how this one, I think he had more victims though, but this one is kind of exactly like the Anthony Soul,
Oh, yeah.
because they were doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, because he took a break too, didn't he? For a little while.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
that long
not
of a
yeah,
break,
I was
but
gonna
he
say.
took a break. Yeah,
Yeah, there are probably though, as we do this, there are probably going to be so many stories like this though, like where there were like
yeah,
serial killers or people that were killing women of color or women in that profession, like killing prostitutes and things like that. Homeless
yeah,
people, drug
yeah,
addicts. Sad. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have much either for this one. It is pretty much what it is. He did what he did. Like you said, it could have been avoided up to a certain point. Like the first few, yeah, that would have
yeah,
happened either way. But had the police done their job correctly, it could have been resolved a lot quicker. I think that the DNA thing is really cool and kind of scary. Because it's like they got this man's DNA from pizza crusts. It's really cool. It's pretty cool.
yeah,
And there was one more thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, and like I said, I think his death is really like weird. I think that whole thing is weird.
yeah, yeah. Because why wouldn't you release his cause of death? They do it for everybody else,
Yeah,
unless they're hiding something. But I really
exactly.
don't care because I mean,
He was a murderer.
yeah,
I agree. Yeah, and like I said before, although I'm not for the death penalty, I'm not against life, like karma doing it. Like let life do what it does.
yeah.
That's it. Put it on a shirt. Let life do what it does. People's like, how's it going? How's life? It's just doing what it does. It's just doing what it does.
Man.
That's all, folks.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at It's a Strange World Podcast, Twitter at Pod Strange World, and on Facebook and TikTok at It's a Strange World After All. Make sure you turn on those notifications for our Instagram posts so that you can keep up with our hashtag Killer Couples posts. This is the last week of that, and we will return to the hashtag Myth Mondays and hashtag Strange Saturdays posts next week.
We would love to hear from ya. Tell us what you think about the Grim Sleeper. Also, if there is anything in the world of strange or any true crime cases that you would like us to cover, let us know. Have you ever heard a strange bump in the night? Have you ever seen shadow figures moving about? Have you ever stumbled upon something unexplainable? We want to know about it, and with your permission, share it with our listeners. We are still accepting those submissions. You can send those submissions to It's a Strange World After All at gmail.com or DM us at any other social media platforms D mentioned. I say we'll most likely start introducing those next month. We probably can't do them every episode because right now we don't have much participation. But if you want more of those, then definitely participate. That way we can maybe do those either every episode or get them enough to where maybe we can do like a bonus episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like a bonus, maybe 5-minute, 10-minute. Strange quickies.
Like a mini-sode.
Yeah. I said strange quickies. Strickies. Y'all want a strickie? No.
No.
A strickie. Even if you just want to say hey there, we'll be here.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of
It's a Strange World After All. And thank you, as always, for keeping it strange with us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I did not realize that's what you were doing.